Now to the high-stakes political poker going on here in Washington. The president says simply rolling back his health care overhaul is not going to happen, despite the possibility of a government shutdown. Many congressional Republicans seem willing, even eager, to call his bluff. But some in the GOP are not all in. Our chief congressional correspondent Mike Emanuel tonight on who has the better hand.
Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid kicked off a critical week to avoid a shutdown and continue funding the government. Reid was clearly irritated the House sent over a stopgap spending bill that included defunding the president's health care law.
We will not bow to Tea Party anarchists who refuse to accept the Supreme Court ruled Obamacare to be constitutional. And we will not bow to Tea Party anarchists in the House or in the Senate who ignore the fact that President Obama was overwhelmingly reelected.
Late today, Texas Republican Ted Cruz argued for making it more difficult for Reid to strip the aspect taking money from Obamacare.
Mr. President, that leads to the second unanimous consent request that I put forward. A simple request that every amendment on this continuing resolution be subject to 60 votes.
Senate conservatives who pushed their allies in the House to pass the bill removing Obamacare implementation and enforcement money tried to lower expectations ahead of the confrontation.
I think really we fight it out, and we'll see in the end the Democrats have the Senate and the presidency. It's going to be difficult ultimately to overcome them, but I think we should use the leverage of controlling the House. The Republicans were elected in the House. We were elected to do something. People want us to stand up and fight Obamacare.
Cruz floated a plan B suggesting the House should hold its ground and begin passing smaller resolutions funding one department at a time. Another key Senate conservative says with President Obama in office, defunding the entire law is unlikely, but there are realistic goals.
What I'm hoping we can do, peel off some of the most damaging parts, peel off what we can, delay what we can't, also hold the line on spending. The Democrats want to increase spending above the statutory limits that were set. So those are a few of the things that I think we ought to insist on.
West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin expressed the frustration that so much of the debate is it must be all or nothing on Obamacare.
Since I've been here, not one of my colleagues have come up and said, Joe, here's a better way to do it. Here's how we can fix this part. Let's repeal this, and we'll fix this part of it. Nobody's done that. They just said, okay, vote up or down. Well, let's fix things.
Late today, a spokesman announced Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell backs the House Republican bill and will not vote to block it. McConnell supports it for continuing to fund the government without increasing spending by a penny and for taking money away from Obamacare. So bottom line, he will not support a filibuster. John? Mike Emanuel on Capitol Hill tonight. Mike, thanks so much. The woman at the center of the IRS targeting scandal is out tonight. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron is here with the not totally unexpected exit of Lois Lerner. Good evening, Carl.
Thanks, John. Yeah, few were surprised to see her go, and so far not a lot of regret about her departure. Lois Lerner has been on unpaid leave since May, when it was first revealed that since 2010, the IRS department that Lerner ran was unfairly denying or delaying applications for tax-exempt status to Tea Party and other conservative groups. When Lerner appeared before Congress, she first denied any wrongdoing, then claimed the fifth and refused to say more.
I have not violated any IRS rules or regulations, and I have not provided false information to this or any other congressional committee. And while I would very much like to answer the committee's questions today, I've been advised by my counsel to assert my constitutional right not to testify or answer questions related to the subject matter of this hearing.
That caused a tremendous stir. The IRS has repeatedly acknowledged that widespread mismanagement did take part in Lerner's department, or her former department, but she initially claimed that the targeting was actually carried out by agents in Cincinnati. Well, Congress has found evidence since then that IRS bosses here in Washington knew about it and did take part. Darrell Issa, the GOP chairman of the lead Congressional Investigating Committee, is not going to let up. He issued a statement today saying, quote, "We still don't know why Lois Lerner, as a senior IRS official, had such a personal interest in directing scrutiny and why she denied improper conduct to Congress. Her departure does not answer these questions or diminish the committee's interest in hearing her testimony." So the IRS has provided over 400,000 documents to Congress so far, John. They've never denied that the conservative groups were mistreated. 5 managers have been pushed out of their leadership roles, but they haven't been bounced. Nobody's been fired. Lerner may think by retiring Congress might let her alone. It looks kind of unlikely, given what ISIS said there, John.
It depends where she retires to, I guess.
Alaska, Siberia.
Mexico. Thanks, Carl. Still ahead, a group of veterans proves they still know how to get the job done. First, we'll show you one family that's asking, whatever happened to the Affordable in the president's Affordable Care Act.